Casey Brzezicki is a fifth grade teacher from Missouri. She knows firsthand that those closest to the students are best equipped to meet their educational needs. That's why she and allies like Gretchen Logue are fighting to empower parents and taxpayers. They're a part of the latest fight to restore federalism in the face of government overreach in education. I'm Lindsay Burke, an education policy analyst at the Heritage Foundation. For decades, Republicans and Democrats have centralized control over education. And now bureaucrats in Washington are using federal funds to coerce states to adopt national academic standards and tests. These national standards would dictate what students need to learn and when they should learn it.
There's such a disconnect between Washington, D.C. and our schools at the local level. And it's very sad for me to think that any ounce of local control that we had left, because the states pretty much were in control with their standards and then we follow what they tell us we need to be doing. But now that's even getting farther removed to where, as a parent, if I have a problem with something my child's learning in social studies, I can't go to the school district. I can't even go to the state anymore because it's out of our hands.
Do parents and taxpayers have a right? I think that's a question. Do parents and taxpayers have a right to have a say in what their children are learning? My feeling is, if we're paying for it, you bet we do.
For example, I was teaching a math lesson yesterday on fractions, and within that hour-long math period, I taught it 3 different ways to 3 different groups. So being able to differentiate because the kids are different, and yet we have these standards that are trying to fit everyone into one mold, is pretty much contradictory.
The Obama administration has always said that these standards would be voluntary, but money has always been on the line. But leaders in Virginia, Texas, and South Carolina have continued to oppose further federal overreach into education.
We know what works for our children, and the fact is that Washington's race to the top with their national standards and their national testing, yet to be worked out, of course, we think would be devastating to the young people of the state of Texas. We're making progress in every area.
You know, we have to be careful when we take federal dollars. Every time you take a dollar, you're putting a hand behind your back.
You know, we have to use government in a smart way to make sure that we don't handcuff teachers, principals, superintendents, teachers, or parents into one size fits all, and that's just not the case.
If we had taken the $249 million, would I go to the General Assembly and then ask the General Assembly for more money to meet the federal requirements? No, that is not the Virginia way.
Federalism, allowing states to set education standards and determine how funds are spent, should be a guiding principle in education. Only then will children's needs best be served and educational opportunity will flourish. Congressman Rob Bishop taught high school for nearly 30 years. Today, as a representative from Utah's 1st District and a member of the 10th Amendment Task Force, he champions federalism in education.
Education deals with people. Give people and parents the ability to do what they wish to do and move in the direction they wish to do it. By consolidating power here in Washington, you flat out don't do that. We have, ever since the federal government in the mid-60s became heavily involved in public education, we've been consistently fighting that battle over standardization versus freedom. Freedom should be our goal.